everybody off the BAP except the quintessential nerds. That would be me, Feeq Blurman, Ray, and Ceewhy. Which Ceewhy sometimes is like a partial nerd. Like he's like 98.
Ceewhy's a full nerd, but he just don't like to feel like people can say things about him, so he be hiding that shit.
Mm-hmm. And then
you're both almost kind of right. I'm a full nerd, but I'm just cooler than y'all. Yeah, I hate that shit. So
you literally just proved exactly. We know we're not gonna argue. We're not gonna argue.
Got company.
I'm not arguing. All the smoothest niggas in the world come from Minnesota. I've learned that in my short time. I don't know what that is. I don't know what y'all got in the snow up there, but all the smoothest black people I know, like the ones from like 1940s jazz clubs, are from Minnesota. I get it. I don't get it. Don't get it.
That voice you just heard is one of I would say the top 5 podcasters that I listen to coming into podcasting. And he is back with another podcast network. Give it up for Aaron from Unreasonable Fridays Network.
What up?
Good, man.
Pleasure to be here.
It is a pleasure. We don't have many guests on room, man. A lot of people can't deal with us.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, like we only have the only guests we've had is what? Rod and Karen? Was that it?
Oh no, we had somebody else, but they didn't quite make it.
Oh,
you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah,
they was having problems.
Yeah, that we're gonna talk about that. So
archive.
So, Aaron, could you please explain Unreasonable Fridays, your network, what you've been into, and how you got into podcasting, man?
Well,
if
Unreasonable Fridays,
share it.
No, it's all good. Unreasonable Fridays is very much a vehicle for the various like people that I know. Like I know sex worker in the jail, a big, huge nerd bacon, and my podcast wife, Dasha, and it's important that I just felt like compelled to I want to help give these people some voices. So that's where the entire network came from. It's a very much black people talking shit about white people. It's critical that we have as many people doing that as possible. So it is where it came from. I got my start podcasting. I was a straight man on This Week in Blackness.
Yes.
And then This Week in Blackness collided with an iceberg and sank into the ocean, leaving only me. And I figured I'd do something else. So here I am.
Well, I'm glad.
It's life.
I'm glad you came back to it, man. I was rooting for you the whole time, dog. Like, yeah, come on, man.
He's out there like Tom Hanks talking about Wilson.
It was a little while. I was a little lost out there. I was friends with volleyballs. I'm not gonna act like I wasn't.
It was funny.
Bill's character, boy. Bill's character.
If Aaron looks at his Facebook Messenger like once a month for like 3 months, I'm like, so you podcasting yet?
Nope, but I'm about to jump on and run Destiny with CY in it.
This is very true.
Life.
He is also one of my favorite guys to game with. I actually get on voice chat. It's only like 2 or 3 people. It's like Ray, CY.
Whoa, that's a lie. Not Ray or CY. Don't lie.
Right. Yeah, you see how we jumped on that.
Whoa, there, buddy. It's a little animosity.
Out here lying.
Listen here, you will get onto a game, pop into the game, and do something, and then just leave, and it's like, oh, okay, fairy, just float away.
You know what? Guess who else does that? Ooh. Are they on the call right now? Is that person on the call too? Me? Oh, Aaron, yeah, you do that too, motherfucker. Both of y'all do that ghost and shit. You'll pop in, and we appreciate the help, but then you won't say shit and then just pop out like you some sort of god or something.
That's because I'm on.
Damn, is that what it takes to be a god? To be misanthropic?
Well, actually, it's not a god. It's more like a serial killer. But it's rude to call people that to their faces.
Well, first of all, it's supposed to be more like Batman.
Thank you.
That's exactly what I thought it was.
Actually, now it does sound cooler to think that they come in, they save y'all, and they leave without saying anything.
No, but there's the thing. It's not saving.
You're just there.
It's sometimes saving, but neither here nor there. Listen.
Sometimes it is saving real shit.
Listen, Batman wouldn't say. Actually, Batman would say he saves people. T'Challa wouldn't say he saves people. He would say he helps his people. So I'm gonna say I help my people, and that's what we do privately. I'm gonna say I save y'all, but if there are white people around, and I help my people, achieve a goal. We are all achieving a goal at the same time. I'm also on the phone. Usually, when I'm jumping in and out of games, it's because I'm on the phone.
You're not as bad as you're not as bad as Bap Aaron, fam. You're just not.
Oh yeah.
He's worst. I haven't spoken to him on Xbox Live in 6 years.
We supposed to be on the same team, bro. You said no.
Yeah, you do that to us too. Sometimes we can't tell whether there's something wrong because of the erratic nature of your arrival and departure. So I don't know. So you come in and you like get on the mic and you say something, and then like two people will be off the mic, and then you say hello, and we're like playing something. You can jump in, but then you don't like message or jump in, and then you just leave. And we're like, I hope everything's okay. You could jump in though. You're like in the division. You could just
go into my friends list and looking and like, did he jump off? Is
he okay? That's all I'm worried about. It's like, something happened? You lost your pal? You lost the internet? Is your girl okay? What's going on? What's happening? It's such
an
gaming
so
culture.
Nice. I'm
what
just
is wrong?
Here like he's a fucking weirdo. I'm just keep going on with my game.
All right, so now that we got a thorough roasting out of the way,
they ain't roasted you in a minute though.
Yeah, I see. Y'all was backed up a little bit. I see. So
I thought you had a problem with me. I didn't know it was like a thing. I just thought you just didn't like me. Like there was an issue.
No, it's more of a. Sometimes I just want to play the game with people, and that's my way of being around people without like technically being around people.
So nah, we know what it is. We've all talked about it, but we still need you to get on the motherfucking mic. We're tired of
it. I will make sure and make. Damn it. So what we do? Well, first of all, this show would not be sponsored without the love and support of the patrons. Ray is going to read off our Patreon levels and our patrons for March or April or I'm stuck right now. What month is it?
It is April.
It's April.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I am a parent.
Only 11 days.
I am a parent.
All right.
So, don't break down. Don't break. It's okay. I know that feels crazy.
I had a moment. Ray,
no, you can have those. It's cool.
Okay, so first of all, let's get through the levels. The levels are as follows. If you donate $3 or more, you have access to the BAP archives, and you also get a shout out on the main BAP show. If you donate $5 or more, you get the previous mentioned gifts on top of what else do you get? Access to our fireside chats, and you get access to our quarterly raffle of $75 Amazon gift card. And then if you donate $10 or more, you get all previous mentioned shows plus access to our premium content, such as our Insecure recaps or our other recap, which is coming soon as Aaron posted. Isn't that right, Aaron?
It will be posted tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you much.
All
it will
right.
be posted for premium people tomorrow. It won't be posted on the network until Monday. So premium are going to get the living single. No,
not living single.
Flavor of Love recap.
Yeah, so far it's me, Chris, and Lloyd, and we are recapping the first season of Flavor of Love. So come on, guys, really.
Yeah,
all right. So let me go ahead and list off our Patreon members. We have Nutella is Life, Ceedata H, Kenneth H, Justin C from I Do It for Hip Hop Podcast, say the whole thing like a pimp named Slickback. We have DeAndre, Veggie Vixen, Ronald B, V William, Feeq's Beard, Peter H, Pashto Chene, Felt 5, Deloya, Shalonda W, Wonga, our friend from Down Under, Cameron B, Mr. Brent, Simo, Ashley G, Chonilla, Knowledge, Dre, the disrespectful one, MJ, Donald, our faithful cousin Ophelia Ono, Teddy Funk, Charlie Snowflake, Angela D, DJ Food and Drink, for washed folks.
DJ Food and Drink.
I know who that is. I'm gonna have to look into who that is. Ariana, Nikki M, Devo G, Willis Dickfit, Shadrach C, Shauna E, Jordan H, Pam M, and Scrum Master Flash.
Thank you so much. That is a list. It's
a nice list.
And that's not even including the $3 level people. Like, wow. Thank y'all so much. Like I say it all the time, but yo, we would not be doing this like in the capacity we're doing it without y'all, So thank you very much for supporting us. Also, Teespring, Teepublic, excuse me. Teepublic, we have our Black Astronaut shirts in the store right now. If you want to get one of the old logo. This
Not
is going to
old.
be a vintage shirt.
Vintage.
Because there will be a new logo coming. So if you want to get the original BAP logo, you might want to get it now because it's going away. I'm going to take it off the store very soon. I'm not going to tell y'all time or date, but it's going to go off the store very soon. So I'll put the show link or the store link in the notes. So with that being said, let's get into these nerdy things that I've been itching to talk about for a month. First off, we have been inundated. With
inundated.
Yeah, I know. I fucked it up. Thank you for correcting me.
Inundated.
Yeah, thank you. So first trailer we're going to talk about is the Solo, a Star Wars story trailer. Just came out last month. Everybody was a tad bit worried about it, except for your boy. And it's good. I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, whatever they are doing over there at Disney, I want some of that water. Like, I want whatever they putting in the water over there, because all they do is put out hits. Did anybody else
cocaine, baby?
Did anybody else get a chance to see the Solo trailer?
Yeah,
I did.
Everybody
Yes.
should have seen it since you posted it. Just like
Shut up.
My bad.
Excuse me.
Edith.
Aaron, did you see the Solo trailer?
Yeah, I saw it.
What'd you think of it?
It looked like. See, me, I am actually not a big Star Wars fan.
Okay.
So I've always thought now. Okay, this is a hot take. Everyone, get ready. I've thought Star Wars was trash until the Force Awakens. That was the first decent Star Wars movie I had ever seen in my life. The rest of them, I get it. They raised humans like Nintendo, so they're fine because they raised kids. Great. They're not good movies up to this point. It's a cool universe, but eh. So I was like, so now they're in rhythm. So it's kind of like it's in this whole like it's like I saw it and I was just like, okay, I don't have the attachment to it, so I'm just like, oh, another Star Wars movie. This should be good, like the other Star Wars movies and the previous 20 Marvel movies. So I'm just like, okay, this should be fine. And Donald Glover's in it, so they got the Wakanda ticket right in there, so it's fine. It's great.
So I have to interrogate you a little bit. No, Aaron. No, Aaron.
Run me.
Let's
go.
We have to just tease this out a bit, right? You can't come on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's been nice to have you on the show. I'm just
no. So Aaron, other Aaron, with bad taste. How old are you?
I'm 34.
Wow. So you're not that much. Because I'm 35.
Right.
So neither of us were alive when the first one came out. I feel like Return of the Jedi came out 82.
Right.
Which is when I was born, the year before you were born. I saw the trilogy for the first time probably in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And it was a wrap at that point. I watched them again in the late 90s before the prequels. And then I've watched them 100 times since then. I kind of don't. So are you saying they're bad or that they're overrated? Like I could go with overrated.
I think the first two Star Wars movies are overrated. I think the episode movies are actually bad movies. No, they're badly acted movies with really good ideas in them.
Well, yeah, I'll give you that.
So there's like so
what good ideas? The prequels?
The prequels, I mean, the story of Anakin Skywalker becoming Darth Vader, if they had real actors, a real director, that's an interesting story. I mean, if they rebooted, if they just rebooted episode 1 through 3 now and brought in real actors and had the J.J. Abrams thing, everything.
That's actually a dream scenario I have as Disney, because Disney's eventually gonna write themselves, especially since they don't seem to have a Kevin Feige person who's like steering the ship. They're gonna write themselves into a wall with the expanded universe stuff that's out now. Because I like the last two movies and I like Rogue One, but what seems to be very clear, and I feel like the director corroborated this, that all the story threads from Force Awakens were completely abandoned for what was the last one called? The Last Jedi. They were completely abandoned for that. And so now they're basically starting a whole new story thread line, which maybe it'll work, maybe they'll stick with this one, but I'm hoping that they hit a wall and feel like, you know what, let's just go redo the prequels and then like
For what?
because they're awful, and it was such a wasted.
Let them be. Let's just do something new. Like quick, go.
If we want to do something new, we watch Bright too. How about that?
That shit sucks, and you mad.
What was the other one I love that everybody hated? It's definitely better than Bright.
How dare you? Let's move.
Yeah, it is. Let's move on, Feeq. We don't need enough of your bad opinions.
But nah, just let me say something about Star Wars real quick. I really hope that they're going in the vein where they're starting to give more stories about origins. You know, maybe we get a Princess Leia. You know, who knows what we're gonna get. You know, a couple more movies, but I feel Feeq. They're definitely going in a different direction. If they're not careful, they're definitely going to fuck this up.
Can I give a little novel idea?
Mm-hmm.
How about we like wrap whatever we're doing up now, and then we just go do something else? Like, god damn, how much more Star Wars do we need? You got 82 movies.
About as much. That'll make you sick. How about that?
I just feel like we can just move on to some other space story. Like, I like Star Wars as much as the next person who was born in the 90s. I mean, listen, Star Wars doesn't mean that much to me. It was a good movie. I was born in the 90s, so by the time I was watching Star Wars, that were when like the first 3 episodes were coming out.
Guys are jerks.
That was me. And so I'm enjoying the movies, don't get me wrong, but I'm really over Hollywood like squeezing every drop of content they can out of a concept. Like, I'm just ready to move on. Am I the only one? I might be the only one. I'm just ready to move on. You know, like
I feel like that in other situations, and I wouldn't be mad if they moved on from here too and just put content in other things like Altered Carbon and just new shit.
With that being said, what did you think about the Solo trailer?
So dudes,
wait, I was talking about.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was just to everybody. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm going to still go see it. It looks good. It looks like it's going to be entertaining.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's that. But when it comes to talking about, and then they're going to go back and remake, and then they're going to go and do origin stories, it's like, or we could let this shit breathe and just go.
I have one idea. Instead of remaking episodes 1 through 3, just have one movie about Anakin Skywalker. Just, like the way they did Solo, just have a movie about teenage Anakin Skywalker. That's it. Don't do the whole movie.
Yeah, that's real. They can retcon a lot of shit in that in one movie.
They don't have to retcon anything. The problem with the movie was that everyone that had to emote to make us care was shitty at it. The actual idea for the story and everything is fine. Like the fact that he was hurt and then things emotional and all this stuff. We've had better actors take worse scripts and make us feel stuff. Like, I bet you Sterling K. Brown could be an Anakin Skywalker, just be weeping at the screen for 3 movies, and we'd all be crying a lot.
That's real.
So it's like, they just need to just get real actors and like real director, and then
a real writer.
And a real writer, and just have,
because Lucas was good at story concepts, but not like storyboarding. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you.
He needed to delegate real hard. He didn't delegate at all.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man, like I enjoyed the trailer. We'll see what happens. It was a very rough film process for them. So I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, sometimes those make the best movies.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, Rogue One had the same thing, and they turned out to be a good movie. So
I will say this: I don't know dude who's playing Han Solo, but his what's the word I'm looking for? Affectation of Harrison Ford, a young Harrison Ford, is really dope. It's good. Like, it definitely feels like you're watching young Han Solo, not like a new guy playing an old character. You know how like all 3 of the Spider-Mans feel like completely different people, completely different versions of Spider-Man. Even though they're playing the same character, most of the Batmans feel completely different. But this is like, no, I'm just playing Harrison Ford playing Han Solo, and I fucks with that.
Absolutely. Next up on the trailer list, we got Deadpool. Deadpool came out. The trailer came out. I was shocked at how much I like. I like Deadpool. I like the first Deadpool, right? A lot. But I had my eyes set on Infinity War, had my eyes set on Black Panther, and low-key just kind of forgot about Deadpool a little bit.
Yeah.
But this trailer kind of made me go, oh yeah, that's right. Deadpool is funny. What about you? What did you think?
I have to be honest that I just might shit my pants in the movie theater from laughter with Ryan Reynolds and Terry Crews in one movie.
Oh God.
I really hope the writing is good. I hope the jokes. Oh, please God, like I can't wait. The banter is gonna be fucking great. Like I'm really looking forward to it. The trailer was really well done. It doesn't look like they took any steps back. They just took steps forward. Like I'm excited. Shit, I'm already kind of looking forward to the one after this because I know I'll be shocked if this is bad.
Right. Absolutely. What about you, Aaron? What'd you think about it?
It was good. Let's see why I said it. I just want to hear all the I want to hear them all talk to each other. I specifically want to see Terry Crews interact with Colossus interacting with Deadpool.
Oh, that would be
good. Colossus Colossus was specifically acting like he was in like a Bryan Singer X-Men movie opposite Ryan Reynolds, which is really funny.
Right.
So I hope he keeps doing that. Keep being Colossus from the 2002's X-Men movie up next to Deadpool. Just keep doing that. I could watch those two interact with each other forever. Love that shit. Everything else is classes.
What about you, Ray? What about you, Feeq? Any thoughts?
I mean, it's Marvel. It's gonna be great. Can't wait.
That's not Marvel.
What was Deadpool then?
That's a Fox movie.
Oh, see, this is so much. This is so confusing. It's just everybody has the everything and the stuff with the people. Christ, whatever. It's gonna be good. I enjoyed the first one immensely, and I can't wait for the other one.
Oh, you sound like an auntie.
I am an auntie. Jesus Christ. And I'm really also sad that we're not going to get the Deadpool TV show, but is what it is.
That's that bullshit.
Yeah, that's trash. What about you, Feeq? Feeq? Did Feeq jump off?
Moving on.
All right.
Sounds good.
So next up, we got the Infinity War trailers. If you didn't know, if you've been under a rock or like deaf and blind, Marvel's Infinity War is coming out. It's 10 years in the making, and they are pulling on every single one of your emotional heartstrings about being invested in these characters for 10 years. Every single trailer, including the one that just dropped today. It dropped about 8 hours ago. It's just one scene of the Infinity War and then 42 scenes of all the other movies that they put out. And they're like, yeah, you like this guy? He's going to be in there. You like this person? Yeah, they're going to be in it too. Any of them could die. What you think about that? Like that's how they're marketing this movie, and I think it's fucking genius. What about y'all? What y'all think about this?
I agree. I don't know how I'm gonna feel when I come out of the movie. I'm gonna have to watch it more than once for a different reason this time because I'm gonna be in different emotional states when I watch this bitch. Like I'm gonna have to watch it by myself. I'm gonna have to bring my boys. I'm gonna have to go with my girl. Like I'm gonna have to go with my little sister. Like I need to. It's gonna be a lot, man.
What about you?
Who's gonna die?
Because when did you start? Have you been watching since the very first one, right?
Me, yes. I even saw that Hulk that we like to pretend didn't happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm super excited for it personally. I'm a little nervous because we go back to Wakanda, and I feel like they're just gonna Jenga Wakanda, like it's just gonna be a pile of rocks and rubble. And I'm not quite ready to see that, but I am ready to see ultimate hands be thrown. I'm also really excited because my favorite trailer is the one where we get to see Okoye giving Black Panther lip.
Yeah,
that's my favorite because that's the whole thing that I was thinking. Like I know that they are going to be pissed. Like so, we open up our place to the world. Like I thought we was gonna get a Starbucks and an Olympics and a Chick-fil-A. The fuck is this? So,
right.
I'm excited for it.
What about you, Feeq? You back? Nope. All right. Aaron, what about you?
The original Infinity War trailer kind of illuminated something I realized because I noticed a lot of people were like watching Jessica Jones and they were like, I'm bored. And I was to tell people, I was like, I don't think Jessica Jones is boring as much as non-Black Panther Marvel is less interesting by 20%. If you are a black person and you need to own, like I watched Civil War with Dasha and she was like, this is boring. And I was like, it's not boring. It's actually the second best superhero movie ever made, but there are no Wakandans in it. Lots of white people and extra Paul Rudd. It's just not as interesting as it was a week ago. And they put that original Infinity War trailer out and I was like, okay, I'm going to see it. That's cool. I guess I'm going to get around to it. And then they put the black person trailer that they play at church a week ago. And then I was like, oh, now I'm excited to see this movie. And I think the trailer was specifically for us because someone in their social media is paying attention to this because Black people are bored with Marvel that isn't Black Panther, tangibly bored with it. And we don't know what to do. So they want to make sure, remind us like, hey, Black people, come back. Hey. We have Wakandans in them. Come back. We have them in the movie theater. And then the Black people come back in the movie theater and we come back and take our coats off and sit back down. We were about to leave.
It's very funny that you say that because it was like, Black Panther, that's the next thing we're actually going to talk about. But Black Panther is kind of in a way dying off. I mean, it's still it just passed Titanic for most profitable domestic box office of all time, right? But it's starting to die down a little bit. You don't hear as much about it. And they were like, whoa, wait. What's the media cycle? All right, hey, Phil, get the Black Panther trailer. It's time now.
I mean, when you think about the fact that the latest things that's come out from Marvel, like what was after, because Black Panther, then Jessica Jones came out, that was a dud. Before Black Panther, what came out before that? What was the white guy? I didn't finish it. What's his name? You know who I'm talking about.
Iron Fist.
Still haven't finished that. You know what I mean? What's the one when they're all together?
The Civil War?
No.
Defenders.
Defenders. Everybody's kind of about that, It's just kind of like they gave us like $1 million and then they were like, oh, and here's these other $3 if you want that. And we're just like, no, we don't want any of what this is, please.
For me, Infinity War has been my adulthood for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've watched these Marvel movies since I was 25. You know what I'm saying? Like,
How old are you now, Aaron?
Huh? What'd you say?
How old are you now?
35. It's 10 years.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I hate you so much. So for me, I already had an emotional. Also, I'm a comic book head, so I had an emotional investment to these characters. But I have to admit, like Aaron said, like I was already excited. Like I didn't think you could get me any more excited. But then they put out that Black Panther trailer, and I was like, well, I guess I can get a little more excited. Well, fuck. Right. Thank you so much. Speaking of Black Panther is killing the box office. It has made domestic, as of April 11th, $667,828,952. It's a lot of money. Worldwide, $1.3 billion. Yeah.
I mean, between me and you, I've been buying at least 2 tickets a week since the movie came out. I haven't been to go back and see it, but I just buy a ticket on occasion and be like, okay, my job as a Negro is done.
Everybody said it couldn't be done except for who? Black people. Like, I used to watch these movie review shows, and they were like, well, I think it's going to be, maybe at $700,000. That would be great. $800,000. And the whole time I'm just sitting there shaking my head like, you don't know Black people. Damn shame. What do y'all think about this domestic box office and the implications of this going forward for, fully casted Black movies?
I don't know. I want to believe in white people, and I want to believe that they've learned their lesson, but I feel like a lot of white people are like, oh, but it was a Marvel movie, so I don't know, because Marvel movies do well in general, and then that other stuff, and they're gonna white people it. So I want to believe in my heart that they're gonna be like, oh yeah, Black people will come out to see good, well casted, well funded, well thought out Black movies, but I still don't think that. No.
Yeah. What about you, Ceewhy?
Ray pretty much said it. I mean, there's gonna be an influx of more of just a more diverse look on camera. Hopefully, I believe that it's gonna happen, but I don't think it's gonna be huge unless we start doing it in our own ways, or doing it on a smaller level, or Tyler Perry starts putting up some bread, like some people with some real bread. Oprah, like that's the only way it's really going to get diverse, like right away.
What about you,
Aaron? I don't think Ceewhy is right, but I don't trust white people to see the point of really anything anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So even if a movie makes $2 billion, it doesn't actually mean that white people, because racism really does cost white people shit tons of money and they have no idea and they're fine with it. So I feel no, like, somebody I know works at Disney and they were like, the original estimation for Black Panther, despite the fact that like people were telling them that like Black Panther has 100% approval rating, there is the black monolith. They're all going to see this one movie. They're all going to happen once for we can go see this one movie. And their like projections were like, it's going to do as good as like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, we hope. Even though every single black person was going to see it 4 times a piece. They were like, I guess. So they were just like ignoring that. So, and they're shocked. That's why there are no toys. That's why there's no Black Panther Disney info.
No, it's not that they're shocked. It's still the same idea. Like they just don't care. Like,
I just feel like they're looking at the numbers from the concession stands of black movies and being like, see, nobody's going to see this shit. What are you talking about? Nobody's buying popcorn. Nobody's buying $30 bags of candy. Nobody's going to see this movie. And that's the only thing I can think of for how they're getting these numbers.
Well, what they're actually doing is just taking the money, putting it in their pocket, and just not giving a fuck. That's really what's happening. Like they see the numbers, they know what's up, they knew who was gonna do better than that, but they still don't care. Like A was saying, like I just can't really count on them for shit, positive or fair, especially in these avenues because they're scared.
Oh, thanks for pouring some reality on my joke. That was great.
No problem.
But on the side note, Ray is absolutely right about the concessions don't really total into the box office, but I saw a nigga with a full ass Chipotle bowl in my screen.
Well, next time say hi then, nigga. Because I came with a whole purse full of Milanos and cookies and alcohol. It was great. Good time.
So next up, we're going to talk about things that are not going so well for a certain film company. Fox has been blowing the X-Men for at least 10 years in my book, right? Like that's me personally. I have not liked an X-Men movie since
Ever.
X-Men 2. Yeah, I think it's since X2. And what's the one that the one that they went back in time and rebooted?
First Class.
First Class. I liked First Class.
You liked that?
I liked First Class because it was closer to the origin story than we have ever gotten.
Did you see where they killed the Negro whose whole mutation is supposed to be I can't die?
Was to survive.
I like parts of it. Yes,
the movie was wild uneven. It seemed like there was a part of the movie where a man in a suit was like, "This movie is gonna need more X-Men." Now, Reginald Green, Fox here, you're gonna need more X-Men in this movie. And then people were like, "What? We're already filming this thing." Like, yeah, you're still gonna need more X-Men in this movie because there's like a movie about Professor X and Magneto for 2 hours sitting across from each other having drinks, which would be a great movie. And then they just poured X-Men like Kool-Aid all over it and destroyed the entire fucking meal. It was. Something happened in that movie. That movie was almost decent. Almost.
Except for the fact that they did kill the nigga that holds superpowers to adapt to anything.
Not supposed to be killed at all. Like, no. It's not how
it
works.
Probably one of the most powerful mutants ever made. And they just...
Yep, you can adapt to anything, but
and that nigga walked outside and got shot. Like, really?
Yeah, it was such a black acting school death too. Anyway,
and then you look at your one white friend with desperation in your eyes as you crumble into ashes. Yeah, it was real dramatic.
I also like to get an honorable mention to my man Havoc in that movie. I don't know if you remember, he hula hooped all of his powers out.
Yeah,
like he wiggle his hips and then point his hands at you like flash dance or something every time he wanted to hit you with those beams and give you the wiggle and throw them at you. Every time.
You're right. You're fuck.
It was the dumbest power demonstration move in any movie I had ever seen in my whole ass life. It came from his hips. The rhythm got you every time.
So Feeq, by the way, Feeq just messaged me. He's experienced some trouble, so he may be back. He may not be back. Just letting y'all know. But yeah, so with the X-Men, they have some train wrecks on their hands that I fucking called. X-Men New Mutants and Dark Phoenix are now delayed to 2019. First of all, New Mutants had a full trailer drop. It was supposed to be out right now. Like I think this is the week it was supposed to drop. They pushed the entire movie back. It was done. It's in the can. It was cut. And they pushed it back a whole fucking year. wow, how bad was that fucking movie? Like
shout out to the
That's
adult
wasted
decision.
money.
Shout out to the adult decision to not fuck up again.
Well,
Because the thing is at this point, like, well, actually, that's not necessary anymore. Doesn't Disney own?
well,
I
and
think they're working
well,
on
see,
it.
that's what I'm getting to. The second part of this is Disney's deal seems to be going forward, and the kicker is the deal is supposed to be done in the summer of 2019. Any coincidence? I think not. Kevin Feige probably got on the horn and was like, look, don't you put that fucking movie out. Don't you dare put that movie out and ruin this brand any further. You know what I'm saying? So what are y'all thoughts about X-Men in general and all this stuff going on with the New Mutants and Dark Phoenix?
Who, me?
Yeah, well, somebody, nigga, you on the show.
I guess. You know, like, okay. I mean, I'll see y'all in 2019, I guess.
I don't think we'll see them in 2019. This is the thing. I think they're going to recast the X-Men like they should do.
Yeah.
And they are going to incorporate them. They're going to let them cook for a couple years because Marvel already has their next 10 movies planned out. So that ain't stopping. So they're going to let them cook for a little bit. And then sometime soon, we're going to get a Secret Invasion. And magically, the X-Men will appear in the Marvel universe. That's my dream. But yeah, man, I wanted to laugh at that because all these fanboys say that these X-Men movies are amazing. And I'm like, what movies are you watching? Because these movies are not good.
They really like that Storm line in that first movie.
Oh my God. Oh God, don't.
When it gets hit by lightning. Same thing as
I'm good.
I'm good.
Oh, Hallie.
So we're going to actually get into our game section. We've all been playing something. I'll start with you, Ceewhy and Ray, because y'all kind of been playing the same thing, and me and Aaron kind of been playing some of the same stuff too. So what y'all been up to as far as gaming?
Ladies first.
Recently, I finally finished The Division. That was fun. And so I kind of went into a little bit of a game hole. I was kind of, I didn't have anything to play. And so there was an Xbox Spring Sale. I don't know if it's still going on now, but it was over the weekend. And I just ran across this game called State of Decay, Year 1. It was on sale for like $7. I figured, it's okay, I'll go ahead and buy it. And it's actually really fun. Like, it's a little upsetting because you can't, like, play with other people. It is a single-player game. So there's that. But, shooting zombies, bashing them over the head with sticks. It's a game that you definitely... It's pretty realistic in the sense of how the game is set up. Somebody dies, those niggas are officially dead. Like, ain't no regenerating. The nigga's gone. And you just gonna have to go on without them. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, you feel real stupid when like your favorite character dies because you wanted to hoard too many bags of potato chips. Like,
great job.
I miss Charles, y'all. I miss that nigga Marcus. He's gone.
Marcus, first one to die, and I felt bad because my first character to officially die was the black guy, and I'm like, nigga.
Yeah.
Started my whole game over.
He was a strong character. He was solid.
Yeah.
But
it kind of fucks you up because in other video games, like, you're used to dying and then coming back. I mean, you respawn. Ain't no respawn, bitch. He's dead.
No.
So
yeah, I picked it up maybe a couple of years ago when it first came out, and I really wasn't into it. I needed something faster paced. I played a little bit of it and was like, it's gonna be some bullshit. Plus, I think it got some graphic updates. I think it looks way better now than it did when I first started playing. And it's possible that I played it on the Xbox 360. I think it was around the time that everybody was making
it was a 360 game. It launched on 360. So
I was gonna say, because it looks very, very Microsoft Windows screensavery.
Yeah, it looks way better than it did back then, though. Trust me, and it plays way better too. So I'm okay. I'm not tripping. But playing it this time is dope. Like she said, if you die, you know, Drago. If he dies, he dies. Like, it's over. So you got to be careful. You know, you got to be real thoughtful about the cards that you pick. taking stuff, putting it in your backpack, putting it in the rucksack, or putting it in the trunk because you only got so much space. If you know, opening up a safe too loud or opening up a cupboard too loud, you will attract a horde, but you can kind of sneak in between them. If you use your pistol, they coming. So you're better off having an axe. You know, when it gets late at night, the horde gets bigger. You know, some areas they move around. Like I've really been enjoying it. It's dope.
Yeah. Anything else y'all been playing, or is that pretty much been taking up your time?
Man,
the sequel's coming out next. The sequel's coming out next month, and it's multiplayer, 4 players online.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody earlier. I think it was A about that earlier. Yeah, that's gonna be great. So this is kind of perfect timing for me because now I'll probably beat this, and then as soon as the new one come out, jump on that, and it's on.
Yeah, the sequel looks really fucking good too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look at it in a second. I didn't even realize it was coming out.
So,
but yeah, I definitely recommend this as a game. If you know, though you can't play it with other people, it's nice to be able to just play a game by yourself that's really good, and spend some time, you know, digging in the grass and, you know, just scrounging and, you know, getting the parts together so you can survive. Like, it's nice to just veg by yourself a little bit. I know I understand that. I'm not really playing nothing else. Like I said, I can't get into Monster Hunter. Like, if I would have bought a physical copy, I'd have been took that bitch back. The Division, probably about to start playing some 2K like I always do around, you know, playoff time. It's about to be playoff time in a little bit. So, yeah.
Well, it's funny you bring up Monster Hunter because it's pretty much all I've been fucking playing. Like,
both y'all?
Yeah, that is. How many hours you got in right now, Dose?
They record the amount of time you spend idle all the time.
They do.
It says I have 498 hours, which means I probably have 350.
Yeah, it's addictive, man. Like, I hear the theme song in my dreams sometimes. Like it is like sometimes I'll be sitting at my computer, and I'll be like, you know what? I want to play some Monster Hunter, and I'll just go grab a controller, and while I'm at my computer, I'll just make sure I'm streaming my Xbox to my computer so I can play Monster Hunter. Like, it's that bad. Or I'll just catch myself like, oh man, I need to go collect some more ferns, some more potions. So let me just go run around here and beat up some monsters and collect some potions. Like it.
Yeah, kind of how you used to feel about Destiny and stuff. Yeah, no, I can dig it.
You know,
let's not talk about Destiny.
I tried Monster Hunter, and it's not a bad game, but after like an hour, I was like, I really need to shoot something. Like, something needs to get shot, and I don't know what it is or how I'm going to get to it, but if I don't shoot somebody or something, it's going to be trouble. So, I don't know.
What are your thoughts about Monster Hunter, Aaron?
I think Monster Hunter is the if I played a better game this year, I'd be amazed. I also think it's the best end game I've ever played. Like, from the moment you beat the game. Well, the game itself is super long. It's like 50 hours to beat the game. And then the end game has this really incredible, this loop where even though you're more powerful, it's more dangerous to fight it. The monsters are more dangerous at the end of the game than they are at the beginning of the game. And they keep that thing where you're fighting and you're crafting and you're building and you're managing, and every monster you fight is more dangerous than the first time you saw them. And you are equally
kind of like Shadow of Mordor type shit. Like, if you get beat when you go back and fight them again, they're tougher.
Oh no, they just are. Like, you fight, they have super versions of the monsters you've been fighting, and and at some point, like, there's no amount of, like, without proper buffs, there's no amount of armor that can prevent you from being killed in one hit.
Yeah, right.
So it's like the monsters, even though if you've seen this monster 100 times, all 100 times it could have killed you, and it's kind of like fighting a real monster. Like, you know what I mean? You're fighting essentially a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It could nip you, and that could be it at any point in time. And being able to carry that for literally 300 hours is amazing. There's no RPG I've ever played that has managed to keep me concerned about my safety for 300 hours like that.
Yeah, like when we play together, it'll be 4 of us playing, and it will be intense like the first time we started playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, last night.
Well, maybe that's my problem. I've been playing it by myself.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely better as a multiplayer game. I beat the game by myself and then went into the multiplayer. But I could see especially for you, like, if you don't Like that type of combat is very specific, you know. So it's, I mean, they have guns, but they're like bow guns, and you know,
Right.
like they're not the same type of guns. For me, I enjoy the combat. You know, like for me, I'm a hammer guy, so it just feels good to hit a monster in the head. You know, like
I felt like I was doing too much button mashing. Like the fighting was not.
oh yeah, you got to learn your weapon, dog. You got to learn because weapons have specific moves. Like my hammer is super simple. It only has like 16 moves, if that. But the way I use them is what is important. Like for me, being a hammer guy, you have to hit people in the head. Like that's you hit the monster in the head. That's where your power comes from. But for Aaron, he got a sword, so he needs to cut the tail off so we can get the special weapons or the special items that come with the tail. You know, like it's just it's a strategy to it that I was not expecting. And I've bounced off Monster Hunter games before, but this Monster Hunter game has been really fucking accessible. And
I didn't even think about it like that.
Mm-hmm. Like for instance, like I'm using the what's the hunting horn. I'm starting to use that now, and it's a totally different experience because the hunting horn. You just stay in the background and give buffs to people. You know, like attack up and you know health and things like that, and that's totally different than when I'm using my hammer. You know, so it's definitely a different experience.
Nice.
What were you gonna say here?
There's a point where Monster Hunter is weird, and then there's a moment where it clicks.
Mm-hmm.
I would always recommend that you try every weapon and keep and also I would also say, real talk, if you don't want to play it, don't play it. Like it's a lot of game. Play it when you're ready. Don't worry, even if you don't play it, don't even force yourself to play it. But there's a moment where Monster Hunter does not make any sense, and then it sort of kind of weird, and then it clicks, and then it's perfect. And however you get to that point, you're not on rails. So if you all of a sudden you were like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna play the Division, they just patched it, and then you come back in like July, and you pick up a different weapon, and you're like, oh, that's pretty dope. That's perfectly fine. Like Monster Hunter is the best acquired taste video game I have ever played. Where it's just like someone's like, I don't like this, I'd be like, I get it. Just calm down. It's all just settle down and then come back later. It's an absolutely, or try a different weapon. That's why they give you all the
weapons.
That's
real shit. Yeah, because there's a ton of weapons, bro. I think I went through maybe two characters trying to find something right, and I found something that felt kind of good, but then I was just like, nah, this ain't it. And then niggas was like, hey, let's play the Division. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, just take your time. It's a weird game. It just because there are some weapons in the game that I objectively I don't like at all, and they don't feel right to me. And then there are some weapons that feel perfect, and it's different per person. I know people who use that weapon and love it, and like some people use the bow and love the bow, and they're sliding around like Legolas, and I don't even understand how they're doing that.
Right.
So, yeah, because some weapons, I know I'm hunting monsters, and there's some weapons I'm like, why would I use a bow? I'm hunting monsters, like. It seems like I'm going to put myself through more labor. It's like sometimes when you're new to the archetypes, it's like, why would I pick the elf? Like for what?
Hey, for you kind of like doing special shit. Like for me, I'm a hammer guy, so I got two special moves that are dope as fuck to look at, and they do a lot of damage. I slide down the hill and then jump off and do a forward 15 spin somersault and hit him in the head. Or I jump off a wall and do that same thing, and that shit looks dope every time. And that's what keeps me going. Like when I found out I could do that, I was like, "Oh, this weapon is mine. I'm never using it." But yeah, that was our game section. Go ahead. No, my bad.
No, I was saying okay. I think y'all may convince me to give it another shot. I'll give it another shot around the time I get 2K playoff time.
Yeah, take your time about it. No rush.
We will still be playing Monster Hunter. Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. So. Next up, Ceewhy, you got a couple movies and quickie reviews. So what did you want to talk about as far as movies and TV?
One sec, my headset fell off.
Yeah. Did you hear me?
You said you want me to get to the movies and quickie reviews?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me one sec. Turning on the phone. Sorry, didn't know you was coming to me. So yeah, the first show that we're gonna talk about a show and an anime. I started watching Magicians on Netflix. It's originally on Sci-Fi Network, which I never watched for anything because coming up, it was the fakest, ugliest, stupidest thing that I ever seen. And I'd much rather wait for sci-fi movies to come out than to watch that shit. But I guess Sci-Fi has had a better budget, and just better graphics and all of that. Basically, the technology is around for them to pull off shit in a way that I can, fully submerge myself in the show and really have a good time. And Magicians is fucking incredible. Yeah. It's like the last two Harry Potter movies, like going in that dark direction of the last two Harry Potter movies, but people are fucking and saying the word fuck and doing coke and doing all sorts of like magician drugs, which is crazy. It's like, and you're dealing with real magicians, dark magicians, like, somebody will turn somebody's cat inside out. And because sci-fi has the budget to do it, and there's a bunch of nerds that watch it, they're going to make it look really real, and the cat's still going to be meowing from the inside. And yeah, there's shit that happens on this show that you might not be quite ready for, because they go from like, oh yeah, threesome just happened, Alakazam, they just defeated somebody, and then all of a sudden somebody just gets dismembered like out of nowhere, and it looks real as fuck.
Yeah, did you get to there's an episode where the team has to have an orgy?
Yeah.
Did you get to that episode? Bruh, it's, and I'm not just talking about the sex shit. Like, it's more than that. Like, it is really well written as well. It has a fairly diverse cast. And they don't hide a lot of shit, like, how people would stray away for certain things. They don't stray away from anything, dog. And
it's really a magician's world. Like, it's no holds barred. Like, they're not doing it for human beings. I feel like we're just watching a planet full of magicians. We just got a camera up there and we're just checking these motherfuckers out. Like, if you're into magic or anything like that, like, this is for you if you haven't watched it.
Ray, you haven't seen The Magicians, right?
Have not.
Aaron, have you seen The Magicians or heard about The Magicians before?
Well, all that stuff you guys were talking about scared me off the show, because I heard somebody else talking about it, and I was like, I don't know if I'm adult enough for this stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty adult, but it doesn't go over the line. It's really good. And the first season, there's a bunch of whiny. If you're into anime, that they're like the main person usually is somebody whiny, and then they become strong. There's a lot of whining, a lot of crying going on in the first season, but there's a lot of cool magic. There's a lot of really good explanation, like pulling you into the world and really making you believe, because they're like, nope, this happens because this happens and that happens, and we don't know why this happens. So let's go to the library, figure it out, talk to the elders. Like, they really don't skimp over the, I guess, detective work, of just learning magic and learning the world and what's real, what's not, what they like about Fillory, what they like about, what's the name of the school? Break bills. And then, why they don't want to be, like they were before, wondering if magic was real, just feeling like a regular human being, because there is a way that you can get expelled and they'll take all your powers away, and that magic is real, but you can't do shit no more. And nobody wants to do that, because that's like purgatory, but you still watching everybody do everything type shit. So they do a really good job in the first season of ramping up. It is slow, like most first seasons that know they're going to have a couple after. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Flash, stuff like that. But if you watch the first season, it makes it totally worth it in the second season, because then the characters' likes, dislikes, you'll know where the story's going. Like, they upgrade everything very nicely. It's very well done. And I think they're at, the fourth season now?
Yeah, this is the last season. So it'll be...
I'm not even mad. Not even mad, because I know it's about to get crazy.
It's already crazy. Yeah, it's already crazy. It's ridiculous. So what was the anime?
The anime was Gargantua on Vertius Planet. All right, so I planned on keeping this short, and I'm gonna keep it short, just kind of explaining it. I'm gonna explain it two ways. I'm gonna read the IMDb. IMDb says, while fighting an intense intergalactic war, a mech pilot was accidentally warped into a space-time neither he nor the computer of this mech could recognize. After waking up from a long-time hibernation, he found himself trapped on a planet with human residents talking in an unknown form of language, using inferior technologies, and, most shocking to him, they naturally breathe air. You read that, if you watch anime, that's not really shit. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, there's like 1 billion, trillion, million of you. So I'm going to explain it to you the way that I saw it. These motherfuckers are fighting octopus in space. Okay? Let me tell you, Look, the octopus, regular octopus, have evolved. So it's a time jumping show. Regular octopus in the future, like far away, have evolved to the point where they can fly in space, they can shoot shit out, they can absorb other humans. They have us on the run to the point that we've left Earth and we're living on spaceships. And it's to the point where, like, if you're not valuable, you don't get to live. If you're not strong and you can't fight these motherfucking calamari, if you can't fight these octopus, you don't get to live. So we're stretched like that. This dude who's a fighter in the infantry, he's one of the best, but you know, this is that futuristic society where nothing really gets him excited. All he does is fight. He doesn't, you know, there's no cheeseburgers. There's nothing like that. If it's not gonna, you know, put forward, if it's not gonna help you with the fight, they don't do it. And so he goes into battle. He's tired of these motherfuckers. He's tired of these motherfucking octopus. The shit is crazy. Y'all supposed to be in the water. Y'all done followed us all the way up here into space. Y'all shooting shit out your tentacles, absorbing people. So he spazzes out. He starts going crazy. Then somehow he ends up in a time warp, and he ends up not present day, but he ends up like a little bit further where we done fucked off all our resources, and most people live on boats in big oil rig type islands, and we're doing shit like harnessing the wind to, you know, fly around the town and stuff like that, because there's no need for cars because we fucked everything off. So he comes back here to that point. They're speaking English. It sounded like he was speaking English, or, you know, at least will be English to me because of subtitles. But, you know, it sounded like he was speaking the language, but they couldn't understand the language, so they were way more advanced. The war hasn't started yet. He's trying to warn them about it. He gets there right as the war pops off, and these octopus are getting, fam. It's probably some of the wildest shit that I've ever watched. Like, I had no idea it was going to be that good, and it looks like the graphics, the fights are crazy. I mean, you know, it's an octopus, so it's very powerful. But you know, once dude spazzes out, there's calamari everywhere. You know, so it's gory, it's gross like that. But yeah, I highly recommend it. It's dope. It's got really good writing, and it's not an anime that feels like it takes forever. Like, it takes by the time I got finished with it, I was like, oh, okay, cool. That was just enough. It was perfect. And I think the second season's coming out soon.
Got my attention. I may be checking this one out.
There's a bunch of good anime on Netflix, bro. Like, a ton.
It is. I'm surprised that I haven't had a chance to really dig into more of it. But like I said, I just been like mad busy trying to get this network together. But I see it on there while I'm, you know, in the process of putting on Sing or Trolls or any other kid movie. And I always want to go out and check it. So I'm definitely have to put this on my list.
Just real quick before we jump off this one, some honorable mentions. What was this? Swear to Guy and Swear to Guy. Yeah, it's just called Swear to God, the animation that just came out. That's a Netflix original. I started watching Yu-Gi-Oh! For some strange reason. Never seen it before.
Really?
Violet, yeah, never watched Yu-Gi-Oh! I can't even remember what I was watching around that time. Violet Evergarden, that's dope. It just had a dope title, so I checked it out, and it's pretty good. And then there was one more. AICO Incarnation. I'm maybe 6 or 7 episodes into it, but pretty dope. So if you got Netflix, man, go look in the anime section. You can find some really dope anime. Some of them are crazy. You know, they got Magic of Madoka, they got Berserk. I'm surprised they have Berserker on there. Berserker is some wild shit.
Yeah.
Super wild shit. But yeah, go check out Netflix for some good anime.
What about you, Aaron? You got any nerd shows or like nerdy things that you're watching right now?
Shit. The problem is because I straight up, my job is like editing shows and audio stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I always have something on my ears all day.
Mm-hmm.
So I never watch anything. All I watch is Twitch because it's on in the background and it doesn't require any sound. So I actually realized, like, the last thing I watched wasn't nerd anything. It was that Wild Wild Country documentary about white people, and white people to death. And that was it. And that was the last thing I had watched. And I was like, I need to watch more TV and stuff, but I just haven't. I watched that documentary, and it's like I watched Twitch, things like that, YouTube that doesn't require any like fighting game stuff, esports, things that just don't require any sound at all. So yeah, I'm devoid of nerd television shows. Devoid, barren, nothing.
Ray, you know what I'm about to say to you. Watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. now.
Huh?
I was 2 seconds from buying you the season like last week.
Okay, so you know what's funny? I was at work today and I was like, you know what? I should try and watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And when I went onto my Direct TV app that I log in from my mom's password because cable is expensive, they only they had episode 5 up until the end. Like I'm telling you, I feel like I looked on the ABC app either on my phone or on the website or something. They just don't have it up. Like I'm gonna have to wait for it to come to Netflix, which I'm really sad about. But
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is one of the best shows on TV that nobody is fucking watching. Nobody. And it's been solid since season 1. In this season, they're doing callbacks to season 1. That's fucking great story writing.
Did they bring my man back? Or
they bring who?
Did they bring my man back? I don't want to say who.
No, they didn't bring him back.
Fuck, man.
All right. So, Ceewhy, you did see another movie. You saw not a movie. You saw a series. You saw Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
Explain that for us.
Oh man. So if you could imagine a grittier Westworld, kinda, it's like Judge Dredd meets BioShock meets Westworld. People body jumping. Androids, automated services, has a little Black Mirror peppered in there, and then what's the guy's name? The main dude's name? He was in RoboCop. Joel Kinnaman.
Oh yeah, Kinnaman.
Yeah, he does a great job. Like the casting in this is ridiculous. There really aren't any characters, and I'm like, you just kind of made it on there, except for old boy's wife, the James Polfrey, Lawrence Bancroft, Miss Bancroft. She's whack. But I can't say enough about this show. Like I binge watched it. So I caught maybe like 2 or 3 episodes of it, and then the next night, I think it was a Saturday, I shut everything down, made some food, and sat and watched it. I remember calling Ray like, "Yo, this is crazy. Are you watching this show?" I really thought it was gonna be super whack. Like, oh, they're just trying to take a bite out of Westworld, and they kind of did. But bro, they upped the ante with this shit. I can't wait for the next season.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You're not, like I said, you're not the only person that's told me that I need to watch Altered Carbon. Like 4 or 5 people have told me that I need to watch that show. So that's definitely
so good.
Yeah, that's definitely on my list of shows to watch.
The show is, I watched about 4 or 5 episodes of it. It seems to be so good that it doesn't matter that it's a white male lead.
Yep.
It doesn't.
Well, a white male lead that's actually an Asian dude. It's kind of the Tropics Thunder thing going on. I'm a dude playing the dude who's playing the dude type thing.
Hello?
Oh. Did that joke just shut everything down?
I don't know.
I think I'm that funny, but I don't know that I'm that
funny. We're all here.
Oh, you're here? Okay. Well, I'm not that. Okay.
Hello? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It seemed like everybody dropped for a second. All right.
Great.
But yeah, man.
But yeah. Altered Carbon is dope. If you're not watching it, if you're a fan of Westworld, you're a fan of Sin City, you're a fan of Judge Dredd, you're a fan of BioShock, you're a fan of futuristic movies that just, if anybody went and seen Ready Player One and they like that, stuff like that. What was that other movie, Ray, that we saw that was kind of like Ready Player One? Something to Valeria or...
Oh, Valerian?
Was it Valerian? Yeah. If you like anything like that, that's just real pretty, but still kind of grimy type shit, it's dope. I recommend it. Most definitely. It's great.
So the reason I brought Aaron on the show today, well, one of the reasons, you need to convince me to get Far Cry 5 because I have my opinions and you need to tell me why I need to play Far Cry 5. Me and Ray and Ceewhy were all super juiced to get this game at one point. And because for me, this is the thing. For me, because I trust developers a little bit more than you at this point. Like, I get that. But for me, the way they marketed it versus what the actual game was like, it wasn't authentic. Because they marketed it totally different than what the game actually seems to be. So
Hold on. See, my reason for not getting it yet is just I don't want to get fucked out of $64.95. So I was waiting to see what the homies who I know was going to get it right away. What do you mean? We're not killing Nazis?
You're killing
Klan members?
Trump supporters.
Yeah.
Now the thing is,
I thought we was going to get a diaspora of white folks to stab.
Now the thing about it is, this is not Mafia 3. This is not like you playing as a nigga and then you're in the street and somebody calls you a nigger and then you put a knife in his throat and then you stare down some police. This is not that Mafia 3.
That's cool.
Unflinching.
Right.
But the game is still about white people being crazy and shooting them. The thing is that there is no, like, on both sides, the whole game, because I realize it's a game where, like, politically, a lot of conservatives have gotten annoyed because they thought the villains in the game were conservative. And then at some point in the game, they kind of flip it around and they're like, everyone's a bad guy. And then now the conservatives are like,
they do the Bioshock thing.
Right, but the thing is, it doesn't apply to us because as a black person, this is the America I know. Armed white people who swear they're right are all fucking nuts. So to me playing the game, when they tried to flip it on me, I was like, no. I knew these white people were crazy. I know those white people are crazy. If you put them in front of me, I'm going to shoot both of these motherfuckers. It doesn't have the same effect because because I just made a black character and the people I roll with are black. That's my skin in the game right there. I already know I'm not fighting for these rednecks or these rednecks. I'm trying to get the fuck
they're all
out
going down
because I'm trapped here. Me and my black people are trapped here. So if the game tries to do some type of Bioshock thing where it's like, who are you shooting? And I'm like, white people. And then they're like, well,
these white motherfuckers with guns. This one
motherfuckers with guns over there. And it's like, well, what about your people? Those are white motherfuckers with guns, and I don't care what happens to them either. So I'm saying is that the thing that the game does when it tries to get on the fence, it doesn't apply to us because we already knew white people. The game is about, and that's the thing. I don't think white people get this. Far Cry 5 is about crazy white people. Full stop. It's not about liberal. It's not about like conservatives are bad or liberals. About white people in America are frequently armed and they all swear they're right. That's the point of the game, and I don't think you can get more America than that. To be very honest with you, like everybody, it's like just your white people are armed. Now sitting there with a girl with Daisy Dukes and a halter top and her titties out with an RPG firing at a plane going by. This is America. This is it. What's happening? Y'all white people are out of your fucking minds, wasting all these resources in fucking Montana. It's the game itself is not what they advertise, yes, but what it is, and I get it. If I was like one of those, if I was like a white liberal and I was excited to shoot some white conservatives, then yeah, sure, it isn't what I wanted because all of a sudden now they're just coming down. The game comes down on all white people. And that's the thing. It's like there are these articles about it and it's like not delivering what it's supposed to and all this stuff. And I'm like, no, it's about America. Full of armed, unstable white people. That's the game. Wall to wall. You're just trying, and as a black person, I'm not saying I cannot speak for white people. I don't know their culture. As a black person, I already knew. So I'm just trying to get me and my black people the fuck out of there. And the real talk, I don't even know if I'm going to
feel like it's your black civic duty to play that game and win.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to survive because it's just 3 black women shooting up these white people in America. I don't think they're going to let us out, even if we fix the problem. I don't think they'll let us out. Real talk.
Because America.
Shit.
Because America, the game. Because America, the game.
You might have convinced me. We talked about this before, but I wanted to hear it in person, or over the air about why you like the game. Because I respect your opinion as a gamer. Like I know we've had very deep conversations about BioShock and things like that. Like we've had these conversations.
Hold on a second. There's a part in the game because I'm already hear this where one of my dudes, one of my white people, one of my rednecks goes off the handle and is like over torturing somebody, and then somebody else is like, "Do you see what they're up to? And I go, yeah, nigga, that was a crazy white person. I was waiting for him to clip somebody's fingers off because there's a crazy old white dude. I already know. He just freed me.
Like, as soon as I seen him, I knew what he was going to do.
Yeah, nigga, he's living in a bunker. He just saved my life. He's not my mentor. I know what he's about, living in a bunker full of guns. I know. And then there's other guy in there, and these people are on drugs. I go, yeah, it's the drug addicts, but they're still trying to kill me. They're all crazed white people, wall to wall. The story, what they're trying to do, bounces off my black ass skin. It's no effect on me whatsoever. So
I might have to pick that up now.
Far Cry 5 is America the game. I like it quite a bit, especially if you're black. Especially if you're black.
Yeah, that is a convincing argument because I was. Like Ray, I tell you, like Ray, did you pre-order it? Didn't you pre-order it?
Yeah, I canceled my pre-order.
Yeah, because we were both talking about it, like, this don't look like what it was supposed to be. But with the going in with that mindset will probably change a lot for me. Like I said, I was expecting something else.
It's not like I think The Witcher 3 is a very much an example of a game that's so white and it's oppressive. Because in The Witcher, you can't do anything to these white people. They're just like racist, toothless, like early age Britain folks being racist, and like the women can't do anything but be a housewife or a prostitute. People are getting killed by monsters. You live in the village until you die in 15 years. Like that type of oppressive, dirty, filthy, miserable whiteness. I can't do anything about this, and I'm trapped here. It sucks. In Far Cry 5, they lay waste to each other, and you lay waste to them. And to shoot, and you see a Trump supporter on an ATV, and you could put a round in his head from 50 meters. It's satisfying. It is fun to do. It's fun to do. It just is. I've been sitting there. I just see them. I just stop what I'm doing. I see them like talking and stuff because they're like people. So they're like, before they start shooting at you, they're like people. They're like talking about stuff. I want to see at what point in the conversation I can interrupt them with an arrow into somebody's temple. That's what I want. I wait. I'm just sitting there. What are you guys talking about? Basketball? You like Kansas? That's so great. Or right in the middle, and he says his cousin played for Kansas, is right in the head, middle of the conversation. Fun to do. It's just fun to shoot these. These are the most fun people I've had killing in any video.
Okay.
That sounds like
Grand Theft Auto. You're scaring me now.
And the thing, but we're not like in real talk. We play The Division where we shot people that for the most part needed food and water.
This is very true.
Like in The Division, we're fucked up. Like only one group of people in The Division are evil. The rest of them could just use a McDonald's or a Subway popping up nearby, and they'd be straight. So I'm just saying, to shoot people that I don't feel like morally ambiguous about is great. It rarely happens. I'm just thinking about it. It rarely happens. Like people you don't like is usually just like the Covenant. They're aliens. Who the fuck cares? Or they're teenagers. Why am I shooting Trayvon Martin 1,000 times? It's fucked up. These are people that you can actually get behind killing as us adults. It's great. Fucking superb.
You're stupid. That's basically what I was expecting from Mafia 3 and didn't. I couldn't even finish Mafia 3 because we'll talk about that later.
What I wanted out of Mafia 3 is what I wanted out of Far Cry 5. Like I wanted somebody to be like nigger, and I'm like, gotcha, pal.
Now, you should play Mafia 3 now if you want to do. If you wanted that, like Mafia 3 doesn't give a fuck about white people at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion. That game, if you want that, you should just go ahead and get Mafia 3. Go ahead and scoop that up then.
Yeah,
it's Far Cry 5 is a little light, but
yeah, I have Mafia 3. That's fun. But
go ahead, Ray. I'm sorry, you were breaking up.
Oh no, I just said that I have Mafia 3, and that's what I was hoping for out of Far Cry 5. Like I thought that they were gonna go like full on real life Trump supporter, call you a nigger for walking down the street, and they're like, no, not really. And then I was like, yeah, okay, well, you know. And then I've been disappointed by the last 2 games that I've bought, so I'm clutching to my coins.
I have hated Far Cry the series up until this point. I've actually hated all four of the Far Cry games. I actually never thought Far Cry was that great. This is the best Far Cry I've ever played. I mean, the best Far Cry I've ever played. They remove a lot of the fat from the game. It's very organic. Like you don't do you're not chasing like notebook pages. You're not climbing towers. You're not being attacked by random hawks and other nonsense. Like you're in Montana, surrounded by crazed white people. You meet crazy white people. They send you to other crazy white people. You arm yourself and drive around with your black people, lamenting white people. No joke. Not really kidding.
Man.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm like, when you hear it, all right. Well,
Far Cry 5 making this shit sound good.
Far Cry 5 is closer to Deadpool though in tone. Like if you were to compare if you were to compare, it's like how that last Logan movie was real like gritty, like that. This is way closer to Deadpool. It's aware and it's goofy. It's sometimes serious, but for the most part, it's just off the wall. It has all types of varying tones.
So is it like Saints Row-ish?
No, it's not that crazy. No. It's not like you're playing. It's not like you don't get like a giant laser, like a giant dildo and home run people away from some baseball swing. But it's like it's tongue in cheek. It's aware of itself. It's aware of what it's doing. So.
There is a place for hitting people with dildos and making them fly 500 feet. Like,
Saints Row is superb, 100%.
Yeah, it's called Sex World here in Minneapolis. It's a big ass warehouse.
Oh shit. So we're gonna bring up these next two articles and then we're gonna get up out of here. Ray, you wanted to talk about the fact that Facebook gave all y'all data away.
Who's y'all? I checked my link and I am in the clear.
Well, I mean, can we be real? Most black folks are in the clear. You know why? Because we didn't download that fucking app. Like whatever that was, I looked on my timeline. I'm clear too. Nobody took my shit because nobody on my
What app was it?
It was like This American Life or some American Life shit. I can look it up. But
it doesn't sound like anything I'd download unless it was for insurance or some shit like that.
It definitely looked like something that our people would not have free. You know what I'm saying? But the largest data breach in history. 80s, what did they said? 87 million people.
Yikes!
Like, do people really know the extent of how many people 87 million people is?
That's a lot of people.
It's insane, and the fact that Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg actually just had a hearing, or what you would call a hearing. It was more like softballs being thrown in his ass. And he was pretty much belligerent, dog. He was like, not really, like, he didn't have any type of emotion. It was almost like he was an android.
Oh, he was creepy, wasn't he? So I watched the hearing because I thought it would be fun to watch old people who probably don't use Facebook ask somebody about the intricacies of Facebook, and then, watch somebody who knows everything about Facebook dodge the questions as best as possible.
Right.
And that's what I got, somebody posted a bingo chart of like white people getting questioned by the government. And, of course, it's I don't know, or, drinks water awkwardly. And they checked that box off because I did see him drink water. And it definitely looked like somebody uploaded a program that said humans like water, drink water, Yeah. And basically, they got nowhere with nothing, where he was just like, our people need to do better. We're sorry. It was a mistake. We want to, basically to try to make the case for the fact that research shows that people, we gather this information so that people can see the content that they want to see. But we forgot that we kind of like gave y'all shit away to people and then let people breach our shit and then just didn't say nothing about it. But
yeah, man, it's really fucked up in a lot of ways. But
sounds like Zuckerberg needs to be in Far Cry 5.
I mean, this is the same man that said he was planning on running for president. Like, I think more of this was intentional than is led on to be. Like he pretty much.
Bro, let me tell you something. If he ever really, really, really tries to run for president, now that he has all the information, them white folks ain't letting him do that. They're not gonna let him do that. He played himself. He did way too much.
No, he's actually more powerful just running Facebook. That's what that showed.
Yep.
Like he can control. He obviously can control elections. He can control a news cycle. Like that's the scary fucking part of this whole thing. And the problem is, I was listening to Bomani Jones, and he said something that was really funny. How many people that actually like Facebook? Like they like for me, for instance, like I fuck with Twitter, or I used to. It's kind of crazy now, but back in the day, like I used to love being on Twitter. Facebook, I don't think I've ever had a day where I was like, man, I love Facebook. Facebook is cool. Like, can y'all think of a time, or do you know anybody that like doesn't or does like being on Facebook. Like it's almost like a necessity.
Nobody under the age of 40.
Yeah. What about you, Dose? You got anybody in your circle that loves Facebook?
At this point, white people done ruined all the social media. We are on social media as kind of like a tether. We just like to keep tied to each other. I mean, at this point, do we enjoy any social media? Because there's always some white person lurking around trying to ruin it.
Yeah, that's very true. You know what? Nope. Tom from Facebook or from MySpace. He got out what a good one was good, man.
MySpace? Yeah, that's true.
He was like, I'm good. Let me get up out of here.
I don't know, because I feel like I like Facebook in the sense of like it being a break from Twitter, because I personally enjoy Twitter, but I've been able to like curate my timeline to where it's like I have just enough information and just enough foolishness, but not way too much foolishness. You know, I have a good balance there. But then like I don't feel like everything. Twitter's a place for me to go and talk about shit that doesn't matter. I don't get on my Facebook and talk about anything too profound there either. But you know, like Facebook is my place for the people that I know. Twitter is for the niggas that I don't. And so it's like I don't mind Facebook. And if it came to it and it was like, oh, you have to give up Facebook, the biggest issue would be the fact that there's a lot of apps that I've used over time that it's like, oh, I just use login with Facebook because it was easy. So that would be a little bit of a pain in the ass. But I don't know. I think that whatever the situation is as far as what Mark Zuckerberg is going through, I don't think that people take information security seriously enough.
No, we don't.
People don't. You know, and like people should be way more outraged about it. I'm not outraged about it because I mean, you get my Facebook information, you're gonna find out what? Nothing. You know, there's nothing on my Facebook overall that is gonna be like, oh, if somebody got access to my Facebook, because I try to keep my internet presence clean. Hack my cell phone, whole other story. But you know, like, you know, I'm not worried too much about it, but there's a lot of people who move recklessly on the internet and who have way too much information on there, and they don't take this data breach as seriously as they should. And so I think that it's not necessarily the thing that people don't like Facebook. It's just that they don't realize how, I mean, if your information wasn't as important, people wouldn't spend billions of dollars to get it.
I mean, you're absolutely right. Like Aaron was saying, man, like it is very important in a way for us to kind of realize what we put on social media. And I've been like, I here recently have been going back and like kind of, you know, with those memories popping up and everything, which is wild.
All that shit.
Hey, I've been deleting everything. Every time I see something, I'm like, the fuck? No. Let me delete that. You don't need to know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I was young, you know, and Facebook wasn't as big. Like when I got on Facebook, you actually had to have a college email in order to be on Facebook.
You had to be invited.
Yeah, you had to be invited. And now it's just like, it's not college students anymore. So I was saying shit that college students would say. And, you know, didn't know that 10 years later, it would be thrown back in my face, man. What are your thoughts about this data breach here?
I've made peace with the fact that our information is available and for sale. I just try to keep my information off of it. I know there's a certain amount of tracking that just goes along with being on the internet, especially us being all the black. I know they look at all the black people first. So I'm like, they have as much information on me as they're gonna like. I'm just trying to make. The thing is, I want to make sure that as outside of like stealing my money and my identity, anything else you find out, I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, bruh. Line for line. This is exactly how I feel.
Like, you want to go ahead? You want to post? If I get famous, you got 1 million dick pics. Put them all up in a collage. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care about the things that you think I care about that you're looking at or whatever that you have access to. As long as you don't steal my money. Everything else, I am unabashed. I'm not ashamed of at all. So that's it. I don't care then. So they can have it. But I already know they're looking. I'm not shocked. There's no way in the world. The Facebook campus, like someone points out, the Facebook campus is the size of Disney World. There's no way in the world there's no way they made that money off of like what was that mafia game or fucking Candy Crush or whatever. There's no way
Farm,
they
whatever the
made that
fuck
money
it
off of
was.
those games, homie.
That stupid farmer game. I hated that game.
But they did not make that money off that shit, homie. They've been
Shit.
selling they've been selling something of worth for them to be able to have a campus of that magnitude. Please, they have free food all in that mother. There's restrooms, arcades, everything. You work for Facebook, it's just like working. It's like being in the Stark tab, like being in the Avengers Tower or something. It's insane. Please. Okay, I already know. I'm not shocked.
Yeah. So yes, you're absolutely right. Let's just move on. You're right. Let's move on. And lastly, surprise, surprise, folks. God of War reviews dropped today, and it is getting not just good reviews, it's getting tens. And I'm not talking about from sites that are like the normal IGN, Kotaku. I'm talking about from niche sites like Waypoint, like Giant Bomb, like people that I actually care about their opinions and their opinions about gaming, but they're also their opinions about the world. Like I appreciate what they're doing. They're not just the average dude, bro, white dudes, that are into like God of War. There are people that are saying that they cried over a God of War game. I need to play this fucking game. What are y'all thoughts? Have y'all seen any of these reviews about God of War? And are you surprised that it's going to be as good as it is, or they're saying that it is? Anybody?
I don't even know what that is. So.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably gonna play it, this summer when I get a chance to get a PlayStation. But God of War games generally are pretty good, so I'm not too surprised. It's one of PlayStation's staple games. Again, not too surprised that they will put a lot of effort and money into it. I don't think that it's hard to make a good God of War game. Like, for me, it wasn't hard to make a good Ninja Gaiden game. I compare God of War to Ninja Gaiden a lot, just in play style and stuff like that. And though Ninja Gaiden didn't have as much storyline and talking and cinematics and stuff, it was still a really good, solid, just chop motherfuckers up for 5 hours at a time type game till your thumbs get tired. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not too surprised that it's getting 9s and 10s and all of that.
Have you seen any reviews, Aaron?
Yeah. I'm gonna let you play it. I actually have I don't like I like the game God of War. It's a fine game, but I actually don't like the character Kratos. By the end of the God of War series, he's the despicable murderer of innocent people.
Wait. But that's what they're saying that they play into.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If he's out there with his boy and he's like, listen, I was a terrible man. Don't be like your old man. Just be a better man. Like, if he's doing that shit, then fine. Because in God of War 1, all those God of War games, he was shitty as fuck.
He was a fucking terrible person.
Terrible. He was a murderer. He was a scoundrel. He was, by the end of it, he literally brought forth the Dark Ages. He forsook all of us on his revenge tour. Then fucking killed himself and then didn't go follow through with it. All drama for no reason. Fuck Kratos, a terrible person. He, by the end of the thing, by the time I beat God of War 3, I was like, I'm done with Kratos. I'm happy that it was epic. It happened. I completed the story. I'm good on this character. He made his point. He made his point. So if God of War 4, he's like, listen, and you're gonna hear some stories about me, boy. And, they're all true, and I just want to talk to you about them. That's real talk.
Well, what's funny is you're not gonna hear any stories because guess what? Everybody's fucking dead. He killed them all. Yeah. He's the only one left. But I'm interested, and I'm really I'm more interested now because I was gonna write this game off. Like it was over. I was like, I'm not gonna touch it. But seeing the reviews that I've seen and seeing the pieces I've seen written about the game definitely piqued my interest in a way that I was not expecting.
In fairness, first-party Sony games are always elite. Like, they're the best games. Like, if you want to play a single-player game, PlayStation 4 has all the best ones. Like, those exclusives from Sony themselves,
oh yeah,
fucking superb. Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted,
Last of Us. Jesus,
right.
Last of Us. God, that was such a good game. Infinite sadness from the beginning.
Bro, I totally forgot about The Last of Us. Yo, that
right.
shit was
yes, PlayStation when Sony's first party, when they bring out a single player game, it's gonna be very, very good. 100%. I had full faith that the game was gonna be good. Now to know that Kratos is actually like I was a shitty dude. My bad.
Yeah.
I want to play it now. I'm in. That's why I was out. If he is fucking contrite, I'm in. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's
go. So yeah, man, like this has been our room, and I'm gonna go around the room. I'm gonna ask people where they can find you at. Ceewhy, can they find you at?
You can find me anywhere on the internet at CEEWHY612.
Ray, where can they find you at?
You can find me all over the internet at ThisZetasAJerk.
Also, next week for HWAP, we will be having our feedback. Sorry about that for the people that are listening. I didn't get a chance to get it to Ray. If you're listening to the show, so we'll make sure it's.
Next week is HWAP. I don't think so because next week I'm going to be preparing to fly to Ohio.
You're right. You're right. We'll get y'all feedback played real soon. Sorry about that. That was my fault, not Ray. And Aaron, man, thank you for coming on. First of all,
it's fun.
Where can they find you at, dog?
You can find me at ANS Freeman if you're looking for me, and on Fridays, that's UN Fridays if you're looking for any podcast news. And
what you got coming out this week?
Well, I should have all my shows coming out. Unreasonable Fridays, Ad Space with Elise Bacon, and Cuncast with Najailery. Everything should be coming out. Also, I realize this now. I'm about to use one of Ceewhy's songs as a theme song for one of my professional podcasts. Yeah, I didn't realize first of all the black people know each other. Don't tell the whites. We all know each other. But there's a podcast I'm literally about to. It's like a podcast for a company with a budget, and I'm gonna have to fucking pay CY, make sure CY gets paid before I start using it. But yeah,
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Yes. Nepotism.
Yeah, you know what though? I would expect nothing less because secret's out, man. We all know each other.
Right.
We're all kind of friends, just in a way. Like we might still be afraid of that dude, but when it comes between us and those white people, I trust that dude I'm afraid of. So, yeah, man, thank you so much for being on. Go check them out, please. Tell them the Black Astronaut sent you, and yeah, man, you can find me anywhere on the internet. Ashley3 Classy on Twitter, Black Astronaut 1 as well. Join the Facebook group. You know what I'm saying? Come hang out with us. We talk about anything and everything. And we like y'all feedback. Black Astronauts Podcast at gmail.com. So with that being said, until next time, y'all. Peace.
Peace.